Hey, you want some trivia, by the way?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the Royal Library in Stockholm, and in there is the Satanic Bible,
No way.
an original copy of the Satanic Bible. You can go in and read it if you want.
So you're just a few weeks out from another North American tour, and you guys have been a band almost, I guess, 35 years now. So is there really, do you guys even do rehearsals? Is there any need for it?
I mean, we just got off tour like 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So not this time. If we have a longer break, we'll, play through the songs once. You either got it or you don't. But yeah, sometimes we need to polish up.
Again, you've been together almost 35 years. You've had almost the exact same lineup since then. And I feel like most bands, they struggle to keep it together, maybe even 5 years. And I wonder with the five of you guys, what the secret is to sort of being able to keep it together. Like, how are you not killing each other at the end of every tour?
Well, maybe we are, but we just don't break up. That's the only secret. You just don't do it. So you stay together until you break up. But I mean, no, we actually kind of like each other. I think we really like each other. I think one of the main things that made it so that we could be this band is that for the first 7 years, no one else wanted to be in the band. So you couldn't really fire anyone. So because we were kind of stuck with each other for 7 years, and 7 years is like enough time to make it sound really good. So then you really don't want to, because the sound is good, you don't want to like switch a member. So we've had a lot of patience with each other throughout the years, I think.
That's kind of a good segue here because you have this new album, The Hives Forever, Forever the Hives. And as a fan, the title, I feel like, speaks to the longevity of the band.
Yeah, kind of like that. I guess it's our first time kind of stopping and taking a breather and realizing that we've been a band for such a long time, and we're also that we feel like we're doing some of the best work we've ever done. And nobody really gets to say that after 30 years, I feel like. Maybe they also are as delusional as us and think they're still good after 30 years, but uh, I think that's what it is. It's kind of like a celebration of ourselves, if you will. And maybe the next 35 years, who knows?
I hope so. In my opinion, this is your best album to date. This is just coming from a fan.
Thank you, man. That's really cool. That's awesome.
I feel like you guys have this rare energy. There's a lot of bands. You go see a band and people say you have to see them live. They're a lot better than they are in the studio. But I feel like for the Hives, you're just as good live as you are in the studio, where like you can't even tell the difference. And that got me thinking, was this album recorded live off the floor? Are all your albums recorded live off the
Most of
floor?
them, most of the songs on most of the albums are. The first EP we did kind of one at a time because there wasn't enough microphones in that studio, I think, to kind of record everyone at the same time. But since the first full length, aka the IoT, we kind of all played in the room together 80% of the time. Like on this record, The Hives Forever, Forever the Hives, we didn't play together at all on that song because it was kind of done at the end of the session. And, so we kind of it was like really kind of puzzling it together one person at a time. But the rest of it, most of it is, I'd say 90%. I might probably redo the vocals and we'll swap out a guitar because it could sound cooler or something like that. But most of it is, and it was also kind of a conscious thing on this record that it's a little technical maybe, but we recorded a line signal so that if we wanted a different guitar sound, we could still use the same live take, but just make it, sound the way we wanted to sound. But so yeah, we've stood in a room, played, and also I think the reason it sounds like that and that sounds good is that we play the songs a lot before we record them, because I think we figured out that the reason we mainly like bands like First Records is because they play those songs together so much. That's why they sound good, surprise. So we kind of decided that we'll treat every record as a first record and just rehearse the shit out of it and then record it really quickly. Pretend like we can't afford to be in the studio for a long time, even though we're very wealthy men at this point.
There's a real ferocity. That's kind of what I got from this album through and through. I'm thinking of songs like Paint a Picture or Enough is Enough. thinking of the musical content, but also the lyrical content. Like there's a bit of you have something to say. There's quite a bit of aggression, and I'm wondering,
It's a
was
little angry.
yeah,
Maybe angrier. I don't know. I think it's just kind of like, you know, gestures broadly at everything. Do I need to get it specific about it? Like, yeah, everything's kind of up. It's what it feels like. We were doing so well. Or maybe that's what it feels like in retrospect, but it really felt like things were going better a few years back.
yeah, you got that right. There's five, I think five music videos now from this album. You just put out one, a stop motion video, which was super cool. And then
Yeah.
you have the paint a picture video, which was like a pop art. You have all these costumes, and then you have the title track with incredible costumes, prosthetics, and a beautiful location. I don't know if that was done at home, but
No, we don't live there. That's Stockholm City Hall.
you don't own that.
We do not yet. We're working on it though. But it's where the Nobel banquet is. That's the
Okay.
same room. It's weird. It's all covered in gold. So ridiculously ostentatious, but really cool as well. It's got like a mosaic of old Swedish kings and like the weirdest. It looks very sort of like, what if the Freemasons had more money?
I'm wondering then, because you have these vastly different creative videos, like how involved the five of you guys are in shaping those concepts, if at all.
Very. Pretty much all the videos we've done have been our ideas, but we're not good at filming and stuff, so we got to get like a director in to be our hands. But most of them are our ideas. And then you obviously collaborate with the director because there's stuff you can't do. All the time we have ideas that are from like, The Matrix, and those things cost more than we have what our budget is. But we really like doing that stuff. It's just kind of another arm of, the band. And I feels like videos have been, if you do a good one, there's definitely a place for it. Like a promotional tool. Like at the time when we released the last record, The Death of Randy Fitzsimmons, people kind of weren't even making videos. They were like making 3 10-second snippets or something like that. And we just decided that we still want to do that. And then it's kind of taken off. I think it's done really well for us. Plus, it's kind of fun to do.
I was about 8 when Walk Idiot Walk came out. I love watching MTV, but it was always that video that I was waiting to come on, because it was
Oh,
just,
cool. That's awesome.
not only is it a fantastic song, but the video itself was just sort of, for me, just a whole new level, something brand new. And that got me thinking, maybe it's something from the new album. Maybe it's that video. Maybe it's one of the earlier videos. Do you have a specific memory, like from behind the scenes, or most fun recording one of those videos?
Yeah, I mean, the Walk It Walk video was like our debut at a major label, and there was like a bidding war. We got shit tons of money thrown at us, so it was our first like high budget video. But we still wanted to work with our friend, who was like who directed some of the older stuff and was from our hometown and stuff. But which meant that he just got a really big budget, and it just ended up kind of being a lot of more catering. And then there was also like, because our guitar player was having his first child, it was scheduled for that weekend pretty much. So there was a helicopter waiting to take him to the hospital if his wife went into labor. So that was like our one brush with spending way too much money on something. And there was like a stunt coordinator and stuff. And the idea came from my ex-girlfriend had a dream where we played on a Scrabble board. And we kind of just did that, basically. And we thought it'd be cool if you could walk up walls. And the way we pictured it was like that 60s Batman walking up walls, where it's obviously kind of fake. But then it felt more fun to actually do it. So like the stunt stuff was kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon level, but all we used it for was walk up a wall once. So yeah, I don't know, man. we weren't used to the high budget. So that's some memories from that video.
So you've got the music videos, you've got the chops, you've got the new songs. What else might any good rock and roll band need? it's a style. And I feel you guys easily considered the best dressed in rock and roll.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
obviously that's been a big part of the band's image, but I want to know when was that pitched to you? Whose idea was it? And was there any pushback
Well, it
from
wasn't pitched to us. It was our idea. And it was in 1997. We decided to only wear black and white because I think we, at the time, we didn't really dress well. We can afford to dress well. And we didn't look cool poor. We just looked boring poor. And then we decided to kind of we tricked this company into thinking we were a store because we were all different sizes. So we could buy like one of each size and that would be our suits. So we started wearing like black suits I guess around the time we put out the Venue Divicious album. Or actually before that, the AKA IDIOT EP. And since then, it's just always been black and white. And then they've been more or less elaborate over the years. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of like the videos. You just draw something on a napkin and then you got to make it happen. And that's a really fun process. Sometimes that stuff is like easier than making a record. so sometimes it's even more fun because it's less resistance.
So there wasn't any pushback?
Like there was like, I guess, no, well, our old bass player, Dr. Matt Destruction, would sometimes have the idea that the other guys in the band were going to wear matching suits, and he was not. And we were like, that's just going to make you look even more ridiculous. Like, that's not going to work. So we had to kind of twist his arm a little bit. But I think in the end, he's happy we did. I hope. It's not in the band. He's not in the band anymore, so I don't know how happy he was.
How does it look on the road then, like when it comes to touring? Because you might have a suit emergency. Like, do you just have a tailor with you at all times? Or do you
No,
just have
we
a big
got
suitcase filled with extras?
no, we got no extras. We got like maybe one extra sometimes, like an extra jacket or something. But there's a lot of like, we got to find a tailor to stitch up the pants for tonight's show and stuff like that. And it's actually way better because you only kind of wear one thing. So the packing's really light and easy. You just pack one suit for stage, one suit for off stage, and off you go,
You guys put on a hell of a show. You're
We're
considered the
trying to,
best.
yeah.
You're trying, and you're
We're
succeeding.
trying really hard and usually succeeding.
I want to know there's some bands, they sound great live, but you really need to be able to command a room, which is something you guys have perfected for years. And I'm wondering if you can share or if you can even describe what the secret ingredient is.
I don't know. I mean, it's just something I kind of always have been able to do, even when we didn't have the music. That part of it worked, and I don't really want to look too much at what like the secret is because I don't want to. Sometimes when you look right at something, you see it's all bullshit, and then if I were to get stage fright, that would be a terrible thing in my life. So, I think it's just kind of a matter of somehow kind of projecting into the crowd that this is exciting and fun until they believe it. I think it's like the only time someone outside of the band has said something about it was like the guitar player for John Spencer Blues Explosion said that it was like you have a rare skill that you can talk to like 100,000 people like they're just sitting and hanging out with you in your living room. And I never thought about it that way because I don't really see much of a difference. It's just, well, I guess, I could be nervous and stuff. Luckily, I'm not. And then I think I got enough praise for it early enough in my life that I just believed that I could. And that's the secret.
I read recently that when you and your brother Nicholas were starting the band, was it that the two of you were working, or maybe all five of you even were working a lot of day jobs between touring?
Yeah. We'd
Um,
pick up a job and quit it to go on tour. And then we'd have to come home and find a new job and stuff. So there was some day job drudgery, which it's a pretty great way to be creative. If you do something that's just physical labor and you get your brain to yourself all day, like that's a really great way of being creative because you're doing something so you don't really like, as opposed to, like I said, if you sit down and try to stare at what you're trying to create, sometimes that's a bad thing. If you just let it happen in your head while you're a mailman, when we were making the second album where we were like big stars and all that stuff, we didn't have the day job, and that almost made it harder because then you're constantly like staring at it, and it just becomes too important. So yeah, I'd recommend it.
Was it before, just before the second album then that you realized like we can sort of drop this and commit full time to the Hives?
Yeah, well, not, well, no, it was after the second album. We still had day jobs when we put out Veni Vidi Vicious. And before we were in school before we put out Barely Legal. So we didn't really, it was just kind of the time between Barely Legal and Veni Vidi Vicious. So it's just a few years really.
I want to go even further back actually and just kind of ask where the music influence in your guys' life came from. Like, was that parents? Was that friends? Where did you find the albums that shaped your youth?
Usually, there'd be a person in the neighborhood, people in the neighborhood that were like roughly 5 years older. And they were like exciting to be around because they were older and they had, could afford to buy records or whatever and had records of usually anything kind of like hard rock, punk, and metal was like exciting. When we were really, I'm talking like now we're, from 6 to 10 or something.
Okay.
And then I guess when we were busy doing other things, but we got into AC/DC at 6, me and my brother, because a friend or like an older friend taped it for us. And we listened to that. And then I remember getting a tape of like metal music and punk music when I was maybe 11, 12. And that was a big deal. It was kind of scary. It was like the Misfits and Dead Kennedys and stuff. And it was like scary but exciting to me. And at the same time, I think there was like, stuff moved slowly then. So you'd probably get like a 2-year-old Metallica record or something. Same as like when we'd go see movies, they'd be like a year and a half old. So yeah, but that was, anything fast with guitars felt pretty exciting. And then I guess we started playing the band when we were maybe 13, 14. And it was mostly, the influences were mostly punk rock, hardcore punk and punk rock music. And then because we couldn't afford to buy records, we went into our parents' record collection. And that's kind of where we found like Little Richard and Yardbirds and stuff like 50s and 60s stuff that was, felt kind of like punk. So we got, and that's kind of what it was. Like it was 50s rock and roll and 70s and 80s punk kind of. And we just kind of tried to squeeze it all together into a thing. So like the dream was that we would be like kind of like Little Richard and wear suits and have cool hair, but the crowd would be a hardcore punk crowd with stage diving and moshing and stuff. I think that's kind of still what I want to do.
I feel like you kind of achieved
I want
that,
to
to
be
be honest.
like I'm Liberace, but the crowd is stage diving.
Next music video.
Yeah, why not? We tried the Die All Right video is very based on Liberace. Like we have a lot of fake tan and fake jewelry.
Over the years, you've had quite a number of cool opportunities. I know you work with Mike D from the Beastie Boys. You recorded, in my opinion, one of the best live albums ever at Jack White's at the Third Man Records venue.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you.
And I'm wondering if those opportunities, do they just kind of find their way to you? Are those things that you've sought out? And then also, what are some other things you'd like to do before the next 35 years?
I think they just kind of plop into our laps, really. We don't really look for, but we're very happy when they are. Like the stuff that comes to mind for me was like touring with AC/DC and touring with the Rolling Stones, which was both of those bands asking for us, which is like the most insane honor that can be bestowed. It's like being knighted, basically. And then me and Vigilante once, before Iggy reformed the Stooges, there was an award show where we played 3 Stooges songs, and me and Vigilante played guitar for Iggy Pop. And Mike Watt, who then later joined the Stooges, and a singer-songwriter called Pete Yorn played drums. And that was also kind of one of the coolest things that I've ever done. And we almost turned it down because it felt weird. Like, what do you mean we're going to play with Iggy Pop? But then we got like talked into it, and I can't believe we tried to say no. That we were at a time though when we got popular, we kind of said no to everything just because we were so suspicious of success. But now, I'm more relaxed now. All that stuff was really fun and really cool. But I think it only happens because we're focusing on our thing. and our thing is doing well enough that people pay attention and then offer us things. Like if I were to call the Rolling Stones every day for years, they'd just get tired of me. So it's better to wait till they notice. Just do good work and hope they notice.
That's going to bring me actually into the North American tour. You're coming to Toronto, which I'm super excited for. You've got 2 nights at History, which I think was the last venue you actually played here.
I mean, I like that room. That's the place we played last. The only problem with that show was I tore my ACL at that show.
That's right.
And I didn't even notice
You
until
didn't
later.
know. Wow.
Well, I noticed that something was up, but I didn't know it was like that up. So I kind of just plowed on with the tour, and then someone sent me to the doctor, and he said that this ACL is no more. So yeah, that's the last time. I'll try not to do that this time.
How was the recovery for that?
It was pretty short. I hear people do it for like a year and a half, but mine was like 6 months. And I guess I was like lucky that it was like the right type of tear or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know. But somehow it worked out. And I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, Drake obviously has a lot of money. It's cool that he put some of it into a venue.
And it's a fantastic venue, fantastic sound. We're excited to see you there. And I've noticed, I mean, you've been playing Toronto, Canada in general. You've been playing for over 25 years now, which is just amazing. But
that's crazy, man.
In the past few years, we've had this resurgence of the Hives, thank God. And every show just sells out in minutes to the point where I'm having trouble getting tickets.
Yeah. Call me next time. I mean, yeah, it's been really cool because it's like one of these. Toronto's like kind of an oasis where we're always doing great in Toronto, or like Canada. And I mean, I guess Canada and Sweden have so much in common. Like it looks the same and the people are kind of the same and stuff. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I've always had a great time. We got a lot of good friends in Toronto that we've had for about that long. And I mean, one of them though, we played at Lee's Palace.
Oh yeah.
Pretty easy to sell out.
It is iconic though.
It was really awesome, and it was a really great, fun show. But you also do feel like kind of because like there's 4 times as many people that can't get in. So I've grown into the idea of playing places big enough so that we can put the people in there. What stands out the most is these kind of like, I mean, maybe they're not rural, but the shows that are least, not the Torontos and the Vancouver proper and stuff. We played Vancouver Island. And we played Dog just ran past. And we played Winnipeg, and that was felt like a real adventure. Played like a community center outside Winnipeg, in like a First Nation kind of place.
Oh wow,
that was really cool. It was exotic to us.
Even having the presence of you guys is exotic to the people in Winnipeg because that's kind of a market that doesn't get hit too often. So.
Yeah,
it's really cool. You had that opportunity. I could chat with you for hours, but I know you got stuff to do. So I'll
yeah, me too. We got to make dinner. We got to go and read the Satanic Bible. I wasn't quite finished when you called.
Let's just wrap it up with a legacy of the Hives, man. You've got 30 plus years in it. You've got 7 just brilliant albums, countless tours. The North American tour coming up in a matter of days at this point. So what is it that still excites you? Maybe you're speaking for you or the whole band, but what is it that excites you still about getting on stage every night for the people?
It's still challenging, and well, mostly it just always felt really great. Like the first time I did it, I felt like this is what I should be doing. It's the Japanese have this idea ikigai, which is the intersection of like what you're good at, what people like you doing, and what you can make money off, and what the world needs. And I feel like I found that pretty early on, and since then I've developed no new skills. so I'm just going to stay doing this.
So we can expect to see you more then.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah, let's start with these 2 shows, and then we'll talk about it. Take care, Toronto. Some other time. Bye-bye.